Here we go. So we're on and we're getting, Chrissy has to get out of the house. She's our master gardener and she has garden club duties. And so she's already stressed because lots of things happen. Drop your shoulders. That's number one. Stand a little bit wide. See that? When you push your butt back for this first couple moves, make sure your knees don't come in. This is for stability practice. This is for stability training. And when you come down, your chin is tucked and you're coming into those heels. And then you don't go very deep. See, that's the whole thing. Everybody thinks they have to go all the way down. No, we're just getting our muscles on board. Now, when you come to this point, I want you to really tighten in right here. Really tighten in. Got it? So I'm going to come down. I'm going to go up, open. I'm going to come back down, keep my chin tucked. I'm going to come up, open. I'm going to do it 3 to 6 times. Up and open. And here's the thing that I told them before I started the recording. When you do this semi-squat, when you come into this point, do not let your knees cave. Okay, I'm trying to help you work on stability as you do sit to stands. And you got to watch the way your knees are tracking over the toes. And then once you've done this and your toes are out just a bit, okay, and you want your knees to go over the toes as you're doing this move down, then you come up and you bring those hands up. Now at this point, right here, drop your shoulders. Drop your shoulders. I know it. Take a big breath through the nose. See how high this is? And then I come up here. I contract here. I drop my shoulders and I go up. I'm telling you, if you do this little tandem move, which is this move to this move, taking a big deep breath, tucking, dropping, tightening. 6 times, 10 times, you're going to feel so much better. Now, we are going to wake up our calves today. And so we just started them because you know what we did? When we did that move, we shifted into our heel, we came up, we tightened in, we went up, dropped our shoulders. Right now, you're feeling pressure on all 4 corners of your feet. So we've already started the shifting and the moving in the calf. Then we step over and we step back. And we step over and we step back. And then we step forward and we roll the back to the back foot to the toe. So I'm going to step here. I'm going to show you right here like this. Then you step back, you step up. And when you roll that back foot, you don't have a lot of pressure on it. Then you roll back into the heel, and then you go to the toe again. Now I'm fixing to put one on here that's going to be a little challenging. And it's with this very simple maneuvering. So what we do, we step over and back, and you know what I want you to do here? I want you to actually roll this foot back here to the side. I know it. Don't lean too far forward. Stay back here. Stay rib cage up. Then you step over. Then you bridge over. And right here is where you roll this back foot. See, I'm almost trying to touch. I'm trying to touch my outside ankle back here to the floor. Put your hand on your chair, a wall, a counter. This little roll. These little moves around the ankle and foot are a big deal. So when I step over again, I'll put my hand on something. I'll say rib cage up. But instead of lifting my heel, what do I want to do? Right back here. I want to roll that ankle all the way out. Okay, so that little roll to the side. You could do it this way and this way, but when you step over like this, you always want to lift your heel here. So I'm telling you, Don't. I'm telling you, hold on to something and roll that ankle all the way over. And you're going to feel a little stretch on the outside of your foot right here when you do that. And see, I'm not putting pressure on it. That's the thing you got to hear. So now when I go this way, I make sure I can hold on to something. I come over here, but instead of lifting my heel, what am I going to do? Look at that. See that? And you're going to feel a stretch on the whole outside of your lower leg there, all the way up. That's a very important move that a lot of times we neglect when we don't do specific foot movements. Now, after that one, see, I'm doing tandem moves. So this was the crossover, the ankle roll. Then I step forward and I roll into the toes. See that? And then I go back and I'm going to bring the front toe up. So I'm going to go forward and back. And I'm acting like I'm sitting back. See? Like I'm sitting back. So I have a little bit of pressure right here, not in a bad way, but my toe is up. I'm doing dorsiflexion. Then I'm holding a counter or the couch or the chair. Then I switch and I bring the heel up and I want to put a gentle pressure on that back bended toe. See that? So I'm going to come forward and back. And the challenge here is do it with having your hands hover over a counter or a chair, but try to maintain your balance, your stability. When you do this gentle heel to toe lifting, heel here, toe here. And you have the counter, you have the chair there if you need it. But try to maintain stability as you bring that toe up in the front and you put the heel down in the back. And you're down into a little tiny bit of a hip hinge and you go back and forth and you're rolling all over the place and you're trying to do it without touching, but spend a few minutes doing that. Then bring that leg back, step the other one up. And again, you're not doing this in a tandem. You're doing this like you were a walking step and you would be a little bit wider. See that? So whenever I go into the move, I'm going to bring the heel up and back. See that? I'm putting pressure on those toes, those very flexed toes. They're very bent. See? Now I'm going to put the heel down. Now I'm going to bring this toe up. I'm going to bring it up into dorsiflexion. Okay? So your ankle and the rolling and the being able to balance while you're doing this kind of a task is a kind of a big deal. So here comes the heel. I have my counter here if I need it. And I'm rolling back and forth and I'm trying to do it without having to hold. So right here, press into the toes in the back, shift, press into the heel in the front. You're sitting your hips back and you're really lifting that toe. And you want to do something like this, you know, a good, you know, you want to hold it for a second or two, but you want to do it at least 10 to 12 times, rolling back and forth, really helping your whole body having to raise. See, put your hand here if you need it, but keep trying to do this task without holding. I know. Okay, so we've started. We did the tandem and the tandem. We started to begin with, and we did the wide open hip hinge. As I go into the hip hinge, take a big deep breath and take special care that you don't let your knees roll in. They're right here. When somebody does that, when they stand up from this kind of position, and I see rolling in especially, that is a lot of instability. through your hip muscles, things that control your lower body. Okay, so be very clear. When you do this very minimal move here, it's not a minimal move, especially if you have a hard time doing a normal sit to stand without stuttering and getting off balance. This is where you start. This is where you start. So you come into this, you come into this. You squeeze tight, bring those hands up, drop your shoulders down. That's where I started today, okay? So when you put your hands up, first thing you want to do is bring your shoulders up, right? So I'm telling you, don't do that. Keep those down. Get this really on board with everything. When you bring your hands up and your shoulders are down, it's a whole different ball of wax, right? Then I tandem that move with a simple step over. See, it's a step over, and we normally go to our heel. I'm telling you this morning to drop the heel in the back, and now definitely hold on to something and let that back ankle roll all the way to the, like you're trying to put the ankle on the floor, okay? You're gonna feel that stretch all the way up. And then from your heel to your outside leg and down. Then I step over the other side. I have something I can hang on to. I'm gonna roll. I'm not gonna bring my heel up and back, right? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna roll that ankle like it's trying to touch the ground. It won't touch the ground, but you will feel the stretch on the outside of your leg from your ankle all the way up. It's a very good thing to do. So you can stand and do this. So I tandem that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then I went to a simple staggered stance or a lungy type move. And what I do, I brought the toe up and the heel up, and I rocked back and forth, toe up, heel up. If you can't remember anything else but this one move right here, okay? This is a pre-lunge step is what it is. But trying to do this to prepare your lower body for a lot more work and to get your ankle and feet going is a very, very good move to get better and better at. So you're lifting your heel, your toes in front, your heels in back, and you're just rocking and rolling back and forth. You're trying to do it without touching. Okay, then you switch. Bring the other leg up, other leg back. And remember, don't do this like a tandem. Go ahead and take a normal width step forward, okay? Because we're moving into a next move, the next two moves that I'm putting together. I just kind of am reviewing, okay? Take a big deep breath. So here I am. What am I going to do? I want to bring my heel up and back, and I want to really bend those toes. One of the biggest reasons, and whenever I shift, I'm going to bring the toe up in front until I feel a little stretch, okay? And my heel is down and back. And I'm gonna rock and roll there, see? And I'm gonna try to do it without touching. Now, it's here if I need it, a wall, a chair, you get it. Take big breaths through the nose. Yeah, rib cage up. Bring that toe in the front up until you can feel that tibialis anterior. You're stretching back here a lot. And you're rocking and rolling. You're trying to do it without touching. See that? This will help your stability and your balancing a lot in a staggered stance, keeping your safety factors in mind, and really do this kind of rolling front to back. Get those ankles and feet prepped and ready to go. Okay, so let's move on now. We're getting ready to pick up our weights. Here's my little counter. It could be a chair. It could be your kitchen chair. That would be fine. It could be a wall. It could be a bed. Okay, whatever you like to lean up against. I love to get people who are having problems, who have joint issues, stability issues, to think, really think about what they're doing with their feet. I don't know if you can see my feet when I move into this. Maybe you can see my feet here. You see my feet here? Okay, I'll lean up against this. So what am I doing? I'm gonna bring my toes up and press them down. And I'm leaning against this couch or a wall. See what I'm saying? Or a counter. So I'm gonna bring my toes up and drop them. See, in this position, leaning, pushing against something, I'm gonna bring those toes up. I do this move all the time. I'll go up and when I'm in the airport and I'm waiting, okay? Instead of going and sitting, I get up against a wall in front of the, wherever I'm loading, and I just kind of lean back into a wall. You see what I'm doing? I'm leaning back and I'm pulling my toes up and I'm pushing them down. And I'm really trying to bring my toes up really hard and bring them down, okay? I'm pulling those toes up so much so that you feel the contraction in your tibialis anterior, okay? So now my toes are really up there, and now I want you to do something with me that's gonna put the little speed element in. I'm gonna go one down, and one up, one down, one up. You're gonna feel weird sensations in the front of your legs, but we gotta work on all those muscles that control our ankle and our foot, okay? So I've got one toe up as hard as it can go, and I'm gonna put the other one down, just like pushing pedals. That's what I want you to do, but I want you to sit here for a little bit, and I'm just leaned on this. You could lean up against a wall, you could lean up against your chair, whatever. See this? You should be feeling the front tibialis anterior muscle. I know it. Okay, up and back, just like that. Take a breath. So as I'm doing that, say rib cage up. I'm gonna keep doing that until I'm like, dang, the front of my leg, I can't, it's getting heavy. That's what I want it to do. Take a breath. Okay, as you're doing this, up, down, up, down, up, down, you're gonna go Y, W, Y, and W. See, I'm just putting my palms up. And when I put those hands up in the air, what am I gonna do to my shoulders? I'm gonna drop my shoulders. Yes. Keep working those toes, those feet. It should be getting heavy right now. Isn't that amazing? That front tibialis anterior muscle is not worked enough. Almost the only time you get it is if you're walking up a hill or walking upstairs or going downstairs. Now come away from that and don't be surprised if you feel like, wait, I can't lift my feet. It's because you work the front of the tibialis anterior pretty good. Okay, now, before we pick up our weights now, I'm going to again go to a wall, a chair. I could do this on a chair. I want you to see my feet. I'm gonna take one finger, and I'm gonna put it right here. So I'm not pushing into the wall too much, okay? I'm putting them right here, and sometimes I'll try not to even use the wall. If I need to, I'll just put my hands on the wall. Tighten your tummy, drop your shoulders, take a shoulder width stance, and bring those heels up together. Have the wall or the chair or the counter right in front of you so that you can really squeeze your calf muscles. Yeah, squeeze them. So we're doing them right now, and we don't have any weight. So you know where we're going, right? So I hope you have your weights around you. But right now, I want you to really get those calf muscles, the feet, the ankle, the calf, and use one finger on the wall or on a counter or a table and stay in the move. The reason I want you to have one finger on the wall is you get off balance and then you lose the contraction. I want you to stay in the contraction. See this? Drop your shoulders. Take a big breath. tight tummy, squeeze those calves, squeeze those calves. Yeah, just 3 more, stay with me. One more, and then step away from it, okay? And then you go back into the cross body swing, and then you swing it. Now I am pulling the heel up, I'm not rolling, I'm trying to recover. And if you started feeling pretty tight in your calf, if you started feeling that in your tibialis anterior, this is what I wanted people to really understand. That lower leg totally does not get used like it should. And if you will start doing those simple tandem moves that I just did, it will help you so much in your stability and working the lower leg and your ankle. Okay, here's my weights. So many of you have the weights that you got from me. If you don't, what I want you to pick up right now is about a medium weight, a little heavier than what you think is light, okay? Everybody's different, but this is where we're trying to put load, and we're trying to pick up something that's gonna let your muscle know that you're working, So I'm picking up, for instance, right now, just to start with, instead of 6 and 6, which is what I would normally do, I'm picking up 9 and 9, okay? So now, Friday was pretty rough day for me after losing so much sleep, and I'm gonna put it, when I post it, I'll preface that, but I feel a lot better today. So I'm picking up both weights, okay? I picked up a 9 and 9 to start with, and I'm gonna go up today. Everybody's different, but we have to let our bodies know that we're fully capable of, and we want to continue to be able to lift some weight. That's the point. So I'm going to go from here. Do you remember the first move we started with today? I know, like this. Drop your shoulders, take a breath, and you go to a high hip hinge. Yeah, if you just can do this with a pretty appreciable weight, see, your shoulders are managing this. When you go to this right here, especially if you have a good hip hinge and you're keeping your back very extended, your whole back is benefiting from this load. So, for instance, when I go into this and my back is very extended, I have 18 pounds that my back now is having to pull against and be stable against and not round. Then I go back and I stand up. This is how you back off and you do sensible, very credible lifting that won't end up hurting you. If you can just do this and keep working at a load that you're managing in a down position, your spine, your hips, your feet, your knee, all the muscles surrounding those, and especially your back, is benefiting from this gentle but a little more than normal load, okay? So after I've worked at this, just like this, in a high hip hinge, then I'm going to go into that hip hinge, stay in this position, drop into those heels, and I'm gonna pull. Now my core has to come into it. And you need to notice something. I don't come all the way up and touch my arms because I want to keep the load coming through my core and coming through my arms. So I'm gonna stop right here. Drop my shoulders, take a big breath, go back into it. When I come up, I'm in my heels. Take a breath, then come up, stand all the way up. Take a big breath, come all the way up. Take a big breath, exhale. And as you're going into that high hip hinge, and then you're coming up, make sure that you do not pull your knee position in or out. They need to be tracking over your toes. Take a big deep breath. Take a big deep breath. Pull. Take a big deep breath. Pull. So this is just a medium weight. So whatever a medium weight is to you, okay? That means you can do the whole move with good form. You can do it repeatedly, but it starts to get heavy when you start getting into maybe the second set, which we're into the second set, okay? Take a breath, keep your shoulders down. Exhale, take a breath, pull. So you should feel that muscle by now. Do not let your knees wobble on you. Don't come inside or outside. Okay, 3 more. Here we go. Take a breath. Drop your shoulders. Exhale. Here we go. Take a breath. Exhale. One more. Here we go. Pull. Yeah. Then you bring these right here. Now we're tandeming. So we worked on the front of the arm muscles, but the whole body was working with it. Now I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to do one of the main moves that you always want to be able to do. So I'm going to go down and put my weights down. Okay, how am I going to do that? Am I going to round my back? No, I'm not. I'm going to turn here. I'm going to step wide. That's number 1. I have 18 pounds here. I'm going to bring it to the middle. I am not rounding my back. I'm going to come down, put my elbows on my knees. Then I'm going to go on down, place the weights on the ground, open my hands, pull, bring them back down, pull, go into your heels. Keep your chin tucked. Just bring my hands up and back, open my hands, rest them. Now go into your heels and pull straight up, and you're ready to do it again. Are you ready? We're gonna do 3 of these right now. As you go down, swing the butt back. Keep your chin tucked. Bring those weights inside. Do not round your back. Bend, 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 bend. Go way down as far as you possibly can with your ankles and your knees are tracking over your toes. Bring those hands up. Take a big breath up. Take a big breath up. Grab those weights, go into the heels, and come back up. Yay. Okay, we're gonna do 1 more. Big breath. Swing the butt back. See how wide I am with my feet? My toes are out just a bit. Okay, I'm gonna come all the way down. I'm gonna come down, and I'm gonna hold these weights right here now. Drop your butt, hold, drop your butt, hold, drop your butt, and put the weights down and come up. Now, as you came up right then, you should have noticed your knees. Some of you probably noticed that you're wobbling in. Some of you might have wobbled out. A lot of that has to do with hip strength all the way around, okay? So be mindful of how you function. That's how your form generally is going to follow you, okay? So as I come down to pick up through this last one, hips pushed back. You're in your heels. You're going to grab those weights. You're going to bring them up. Bring them up. And bring the weights right under your chin. See that? Take a big deep breath. Squeeze your butt. Then release. Come right here to the knee. Then come right back here to under the chin. Take a big deep breath. This is medium weight. So whatever it is, medium weight for you, could be lightweight. It's how you're feeling. And yeah, I'd like for you to, keep progressing, but you don't progress in a straight line. okay? Most of you know that by now. Take a breath, exhale, right here. Come back down, don't rest those weights. Keep them under your chin, don't rest them on your collarbone. Come back down, this is core. Ah, right there, big core work right now. Bring it right there. Squeeze your butt, back down. Keep your shoulders down, keep your shoulders down. Shoulders down, come back, breath, come back, just 2 more. Keep your chin tucked, big breath, 1 more, tight tummy, and right here. Now step in, bring those weights here, bring them right down beside you. Put them right down and come right back up. So now we're not standing wide. We're standing in a normal stance. Not wide, just with the shoulder width, the hip width, okay? I'm gonna go down, grab them again. So I'm gonna come right into here, grab them, and come up. Now, I just did something that many of us do, and we never give it a second thought until one day you do that, and because you weren't thinking about it, you didn't realize that when you got to this point right here, many of you did this. You wanted to get rid of the weight real quick, so you straightened or you rounded your back and you put the weights down. And you didn't even realize that you had rounded your back or you had straightened your legs. So I want you to think about it, okay? You are shoulder width. You're doing the fold that I do all the time. When you go down to pick a weight up, yes, you can be wide, but we're narrow this time. We're not narrow, we're normal stance. But I want you to notice, some of you just are resisting for whatever reason. Maybe something is messed up and you can't. If you cannot go all the way down in a full back extension, if you round or you can't get down that far, then you have to put the weights on a little chair. Put it on your kitchen chair. That would be fine. Get the benefits from this without straining your back, is my point. So I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna do this 5 times, okay? I'm going down, so if I were with you, a lot of times, what I would do is put my hand right here, and as you go down with your weights, or to pick them up, when you get to a certain point, wherever you start to round, that's where we have to stop. So just try to get your butt down a little more to pick that weight up so that you can benefit from this move and not hurt yourself. Take a big breath. So now I'm going to go ahead and do it 1 more time. Then I'm going to add another little move. So here I go. Down, 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 down. Into the heels. Do not round your back. Put those weights down. Okay, now hang out here. Drop your butt. Drop your butt. Drop your butt. Hold it. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Now come up. And you're pushing into the heels the whole time. The whole time. Okay? So now I'm going to go down. And I'm going to add, a back arm element. Okay? Same move. Same cautions with your back. Here we go. Going down, pushing into the heels. And at this point now, do not take your head and your chest lower than your butt. Get your butt down, pull. Just like you're gonna pull yourself up. Pull. Breath. Stay into the heels. Stay into the heels. Breath. 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 Stay into the heels. Don't let your knees cave. Breath. Don't round your back. 2 more. 1 more. And come up. Yeah. Should have felt that. That's what I'm working for right there. Take a big deep breath. Do you remember this? Or we just brought them from under a chin. Then we brought them down. Now we're gonna push them back. So we're gonna go a whole distance. Right here. Do not put your knees together. And back. Here we go. Bring it up. Take a breath. All the way down. High hip hinge. All the way back. Here we go. Up. Take a breath. And high hip hinge. Don't bring those knees in. Take a breath. And back down. One more. Under your chin. And extend those elbows. Extend those elbows. Extend them. Extend them. Breath. Push back. Push back. Drop your shoulders. Take a breath. Push back. Stand up. Step over to your weight rack and put those weights down. So that was a medium weight for me. It could have been a light weight for you. It could have been a heavier weight for you. Whatever. Okay. We're going to take just a little interset. How do we do these intersets? So I can do mine quite easily here. This right here is the edge of a counter, or I'm sorry, a cabinet. It could be a door frame. See, I can do this very well right here. See, I'm putting my fingers right there on that door ledge. See that? So find yourself a counter, a cabinet, something that ain't gonna move. Okay, so don't be touching somebody because they're gonna move. Okay, drop your shoulder and really turn away from wherever your fingers are locked into. Drop your shoulder. So you're opening this. Okay, try to put these in here. This is for you, Kay, if you're on. Okay, now ease off. Bring that hand down. See that? Then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to put my fingers on this wall ledge. It could be this. It could be something that doesn't move. Grab that door frame. Grab a door frame, a door, any kind of door frame, and then turn out against it. Soften your knees and really open. Really pull this arm and look over your shoulder. So you're trying to open your shoulder here. Big breath, big breath, big breath. And then bring it back, okay? Shake your hands out. You've been gripping these weights quite a bit, okay? Now, I don't know when people came on, but we did a lot of prep work with the ankles, okie dokie? So we're gonna do one move right here without any weights, and then we're gonna start picking up weights, okay? Now, some of these are gonna be in a split stance. See that? So just do the split stance and try to hold your balance, okay? You gotta see where you're at. So if I were with just you, and I was gonna have you pick up some weights in a big, wide split stance. So you see, it's not tandem. And if you're very shaky or wobbly, I will widen you up and I won't step as wide. Does that help? I will just take a normal step. That's fine. But you're still, this is a width that you want, okay? You're standing here without touching anything, right? So I would have you step back. See how I'm kind of trying to find my balance? So I'd step back, and then I'd step a little wider and up again, because that's gonna help me maintain balance. So the whole reason, I've said this repeatedly, if you did this with 10 friends that were really not too much exercising at all and not trained, the minute that you step forward, they do it without thinking. They turn this foot because it makes them feel more balanced because they're widening. So instead of doing that, as you step forward, just step a little wider, okay? Then pull that rib cage up, and now keep that rib cage up, and you're in a wide stance now, but now here's the important move right here. And I can't do this with weights until I know and I'm comfortable that you can do this. I'm going to ask you to hip hinge, and you're not bending your back. You could draw a line from my ear, through my shoulder, through my hip. See? If you can't do that and hold stable, then I can't go to weights in this position. And I want to go to weights with you in this position. Okay, so it's like this and it's like this. What it is not is this. It is not that. Okay, so I have to go through that because, ooh, that's a biggie. Okay, now I'm going to go from this leg up to this leg up. See how I stepped wider? See that? That will keep you from doing this little thing. Okay, and everybody does it because they're so wobbly and they're unstable. And so they turn their leg and then they train the stronger muscles more and the weaker muscles don't get any training. So now I'm going to say rib cage up first because I know I'm going to bend, right? Not a lot, but I'm going to hip hinge. See, I'm coming right here. I'm not rounding anything. So if I had weights, now we're talking some good work with weights, but I have to be stable. And this foot in the back can't be turned. So if that is a problem for you, that maybe don't pick up quite as much weight, or don't step so wide. Just step a little. That's fine, because this will tell you how wobbly you are. Okay? This is a great thing to do every day. This is what I'm doing, a takeoff of one of those 5 moves that you got to always be able to do, which is a split stance going into a back lunge. That's what I'm doing when I'm getting you into this. But I'm giving you all the little precautions. So now that I'm okay with you doing this, and if you were a little wobbly, I would say pick up just a medium to lightweight. Or I would say stand next to a wall that you can quick lean against if you start feeling off balance. Okay? So it's your call how much safety features that you need to put in here. Okay? Okay, I'm fixing to go up in weight. Woo! With my split stance. So now I'm 12 and 12. Okay? So now on my arms and on my frame, in different forms of this split stancing, I have 24 pounds. Okay? So you have whatever you're picking up. This is part of our loading. Okie dokie? So now I'm not gonna go willy-nilly and just pick those up. What am I gonna do? Number one, I'm gonna make sure that my head and chest don't go lower than my butt. So that's the biggie. So I'm gonna push that butt back. Okay? Keep my chin tucked. I'm gonna get my butt down. Get down there so that you can pick that weight up and come up strong and not wobbly. So that's why I went through that whole tirade. I went through that whole yelling about safety and how to do a split stance into a back lunge. Okay, so here I am. And what am I going to do? I'm going to stand here and I'm going to step back. And as I step back or forward, it doesn't matter which way, just so you get in here. Widen up if you think you need to. Okay? So once I've done that, now I'm going to lean from the hip. Lean. Okay? Because I want to use my legs in such a way that it will be beneficial to my leg, especially my front leg, because I'm basically doing a one leg push my body up. So to my body weight, I have 24 pounds that in this position, I'm now going to push myself up. And right here, I'm squeezing my butt. Come back down, bend, bend to bend, and come back up. Okay? Keep your rib cage up, lean in. Here we go. Make sure that knee is going straight down and come up. Take a big deep breath, drop your shoulders. One of my dogs is snoring. I don't know if you hear it. Here we go. Oh, it's Mac. He's the old man. Okay, here we go. Drop your shoulders. Leaning in. Really push that leg in the front. It's that front leg, man. Lean out so that you can really push up against that weight. Right here. Take a breath. Ah! Okay, got one more. Take a breath. Push. And you should feel that front leg screaming. Oh, no. Okay, take a breath. Take a little interset. Bring those weights up. Put them right here on your shoulders. Okay. Do a little bit wider than shoulder stance. Do not forget which leg was back and which leg was front. And all I'm going to do is go down a little and come back. See that? See that? Take a breath. Squeeze your butt right here. Contract it. Act like somebody's going to give you a big shot right in your butt right now. Squeeze. I know. Many of you would get in this position and your gluteus will just be kind of like waving at people. How's that for a visual? Squeeze them. Now release. Come down to here and come back in and squeeze. That's that isometric. Right here. Squeeze. You gotta work on those gluteals. Okay? And this is one of the best ways. I'm doing what I need to do. With 2 joints replaced and knowing exactly the challenge that many of you face with osteoporosis looming, with arthritis looming, with scoliosis. Woo! So when you do this little curtsy, see, don't let your knees wobble. They're tracking over your toes. Your rib cage is up. Your chin is tucked. Your shoulders are down. Breath, exhale. Take a big breath. Exhale. Take a big breath. Exhale. One more. Take a big breath. Exhale. Okay. Help those weights right into your hands. Now, we're going to do the other leg. Now, I'm going to turn. You don't have to. I'm just doing this to show you. So, that leg that was in the front goes into the back. I'm still by my wall if I need it. I go as big as I want to up front. I say rib cage up. I'm hanging on to these weights. Now I'm going to hip hinge and lean in. I'm not flexing my back. Did I say that once or twice? Do not flex your back. Here we are. Now bend that back knee. Come down as far as you can now. Push yourself up with that front leg. Right here. Get ready. Push. Take a breath. So I'm pushing against my weight plus the 24 pounds I'm managing to balance here. Take a breath. Bend that back knee. Now push up primarily with that front leg. See here? Take a breath. Exhale. Take a breath. Exhale. Drop your shoulders. Keep your back very extended. You should be really pushing that front leg. Should be doing all the load. Take a breath. This is my hip replace side. This is my knee in the back. Okay, I'm going to do 3 more. Stay with me. Take a breath. Push. Take a breath. Push. One more. Take a breath. And bring it up. That should have been a load on that front leg. I'm going to step wide. Swing my butt. Come down. Bend. Push your butt back. Put down there. Okay. Take a breath. We're doing good. Shake out. All right. Now I'm going to go to my little wall, my little chair, whatever it is, push against, and I'm going to push, and I'm going to pull into a hyperextension in my back, and then I'm going to push my rear and back, keep my hands up there and really stretch the whole lats. And I'm going to come back down, bend my elbows, drop my shoulders, let my hips go forward, drop my shoulders. Do that nice, gentle back extension. Yeah, a little intercept. Okay, now, last one. I'm going to pick up the whole rack. So that means heavy. Don't worry. I do things that are conducive to heavy. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up my whole rack. You pick up whatever you think is heavy for you. So when I go down here ready to pick them up, what am I going to do? Wide stance. Pretend you're out in the garden. You got this big sack of something to pick up, or two big pails. Bend, not your back. Bend at the hip, bend at the knees, drop your shoulders, come down here. I've got it calibrated. They're heavy. And I have 18 on both hands. Okay. I know, almost 40, yeah, 36 pounds. Okay, so here I am. What am I going to do with this heavy, heavy weight? Number one, I'm going to feel the weight coming right down into my feet. That's number one. Then number two, I'm going to do some of the very things we started with today. So what am I going to do with this heavy, heavy weight? Number one, I'm going to see how I am at carrying it. And you only have to take 1 or 2 steps. Okay? So once you've taken 1 or 2 steps forward, take 1, 2, 3 steps back, whatever you can. Check your posture. Don't be gripping the barrel of the weight. They're hanging off my fingertips. So I've got all of that weight hanging off my fingertips, and I'm trying to see how this is feeling in my joints as I take gentle steps front and back. Okay. Then I'm going to take and go across like that. And then I'm going to step back, drop my shoulders, say rib cage up, and I'm going to like that. So this right here is, I don't know if Nancy's on this morning. Oh, I don't know if Nancy's on this morning. This is especially for Nancy so that she can pack her bags. She can take as many shoes as she wants, and she's going to be able to manage carrying those bags. Because this right here, if you spend 3 to 5 minutes at least, and you're holding a pretty heavy weight where you can't really grip, which this is 18 and 18 for me. And you see how I'm just stepping front to back and then stepping over and back? And I'm walking because I'm doing the carry. And I want to be able to maintain without hunching over, without grunting and groaning and thinking, oh, I can't, I have to, bend to my shoulder. No, you don't. Rib cage up. Take a breath. So you just spend 3 to 5 minutes with a load, with carrying, and say rib cage up. Drop those shoulders. Do not lean in. See? Just feel the weight. You can handle this. Okay, then I'm going to come back around where I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I don't think I can hold it for another 30 seconds. You step wide, you hip hinge, and you bring it, and you put it down in the rack. And you come up, and then you do your split stance swinging. This is Marilyn's favorite. Okay, so when you do this even, go wide so that you can really let yourself pendulum with your arms. See how I'm turning the whole body? And so that's why I want you to be wider here with your feet so that you can really rock and roll on this one. See, I don't go up way up above my head. I don't need to. I keep my shoulders down. I go that way. Then I go into the frontal plane. And I do the sagittal plane again. And as I'm doing the sagittal plane, I go into transverse. So I hit all the planes of motion. And I'm holding stability with my feet. Yeah, firmly down. Then I go back here again. Breath, 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 breath. Bring your hands up. Put your fingertips right behind your head. Push back on your head. Open those elbows. Push back with your head against your fingers. Just a little tiny bit of pressure. Keep your chin tucked. Take big breaths. Push, pull. See, I'm pulling my head back. I'm pushing forward with my fingers. Big breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, release. Woo! I hope that you saw what I was trying to do today. And I hope you picked up some pretty heavy weight. That's what I hope. Let's see, stop video. Oh, it's doing it again. Let's see. Stop the video. Wait, I haven't done it. Stop recording. Stop.